Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to reveal text using trim paths and shape layers. So over here I have written the text conversation. Now I go to layers and I start create shapes from text. I take this option and then I'm just going to push this. Take this the topmost layer and I'm just going to fill it with the stroke. As you can see, I'll just select the contents. I put this to a stroke of around 46. Make the fill to a none, and that's it. Okay. Maybe cover this like this. Now, I would like to animate my trim path. So I would like to add a trim path to this. So we can add it from here. Add trim paths. Once you have the trim paths, add it. You can just animate the trim paths, put it to 100, then to a 0. So we have it like this. Okay. Let's see. Now if I want to animate this, I want to use this as a mask for my text layer below. So I'm just going to change the settings to alpha inverted matte. And now I'm going to just set this on, and as you can see, we can just reveal, the text is getting revealed over here. Now, if I change this, as you can see, it's getting affected by the stroke. It's getting affected by the stroke. So, this is the way the text reveals itself beautifully. Let me hide this. Click it out and then you can see the text reveals itself. Okay, so you can adjust the timings if it's too slow, and then you can put an ease in to give it a more nice effect. Okay, so this is the way we can reveal things using. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to reveal text using mask path and stroke. So first of all, we are going to have this this text. I've written this text. First of all, you need to go to create mask from text. We need to use this option, create mask from text. You're going to get outlines. It's going to be appearing like this to you. If you want to hide this, you can click over here. Now, after having this, I can just animate this using stroke command. It's available in effect, generate, stroke. So I just type stroke and I get it and I drop it. Now, I can just change the color of the stroke. I can put any size stroke. Okay. Then, I can set this to all mask, and you can see all mask. Now reveal original image. So I will animate the end. So, and after that I'm going to, first of all I'm going to animate the end, so I'm going to put it to a 0. Just hide this. I put the end to a 0 and then I move it to 100. So as you can see, you get the effect. Okay. Now, if you want the same colors, we can have this. Okay. We can have on transparent. We can have this effect. You can change this color to whatever color you like. Okay. Or reveal original. You can just hide this. Okay. So whatever effect you want to get. Now suppose if we want to remove this stroke sequentially, we get an effect like this. A beautiful effect like this, as if something is getting filled. But now if you want to change the color of this to the same color, layer, solid settings, I select the same color. Okay. So I have my stroke, that's the same color. I'm going to fill this with, I'm going to extend the brush size so that exactly this gets filled up So I get an effect like this, as if something is getting filled in. You can play around with this hardness. You can make it more hard. You can make this frame easy in to give it more realistic touch. Like this. So here you can play with the, as you can see, you can play with the size of the film. You can play with the size of the film to create an effect. So this is the way you use stroke path. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a very interesting effect about revealing the text and then deleting the text also. Over here, just I've written a number 1 using Myriad Pro font. I have it as the text layer. Then I take my pen tool and I make sure and I try to trace this out. Okay, I can take any color I want. I try to trace this out so that I'll cover the whole area. Now, on this shape layer, what I've taken over here, I need to add an operand called trim paths. So I add the operand trim paths and then I animate it. First of all, I set both the start and the end points to 0. Let me just set the start point to 0. Then I move some frames and then I put it to 100. As you can see, this is getting revealed. Great. After that, you need to put out the stopwatch at the end and you need to animate it again, the same amount of frames, and put it to 0. So you get this animation. So once this animation is done, you just need to use this as a mask. So you're just going to use this alpha mask. So this has become a mask, track matte, for this layer. So now, as you can see, we can have this animation where it reveals. The original letters. So this way, you can make use of this technique to reveal and automatically delete the particular character. Thank you. This tutorial is about creating a wipe effect in After Effects. For that, we need to take an ellipse, and I'm going to draw. I'm going to take a shape of an ellipse, and I'm going to draw, shift and draw, a shape. Now, I don't have a fill for this shape, I just have a stroke. So there are two ways you can make a wipe effect on this shape. First of all, one effect is using effects transition and radial wipe. Radial wipe is a transition that gives you an effect like this. So the transition complete angle can be set to 0 and then in the start it can be set to 100. So you get a transition like this. This is one effect. The another effect is it's using trim path. When you use trim paths, you get this sort of effect. So we can make it 100 first, then just push this here, and then we can put it back to 0. So we get the same effect from left to right. Okay, if you want to be in the clockwise direction, you can animate the end also. So this is the way you get it. Once this is done, if I want, okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you now how to apply stars around this. So animated stars. So we have a star which I have drawn using the polystar tool, and then over here, as you can see, I can increase the number of sides using the down arrow and the up arrow key. So now I have the star, I have a fill. Now I'm going to apply a repeater. In the repeater, I have set this to 12 because I want 12 stars. Now in the transform repeater option, I put this to 0, the position. I click on my, in the transform repeater option, I click on my rotation to a 360 degrees, 36 degrees, because 12 divided by 360 gives you a 36 degrees. And now I'm going to adjust my anchor point. I'm going to adjust my anchor point so that I get stars around this center. Okay. Exactly. So now, once this animation is complete, I need to start with my stars. So I'm going to animate this copies from 0. I'll put it to a 0 and then I'll make it a 12. As you can see, you get the animation that you animate the stars using repeater. Okay. Welcome back. In this tutorial where I'm going to show you how to make a projecting line. So first of all, I would like to take my pen tool and draw a line which I would like to go like this. Suppose. Now I want to animate this line. So first of all, I can make this shape, go to the stroke path, turn on the fill, delete it, add the dashes. The number of dashes are totally up to you, how many dashes you want. Now just to animate this line, I can add it from here or else I can add it from here. Trim paths command. Once I have the trim paths command, I'm going to open it, close this up, trim paths, and animate the end property. I'll put it to the end at 0 and after some time I'll make it at 100. So this way you always can find animating strokes. Now you can animate any stroke, you can animate a rectangle, a triangle, anything you want, any shape you want, you can animate the stroke on that. Any stroke can be animated using trim path. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make pop-up lines, a very common effect nowadays seen. For this, I draw with the pen tool and using shift a straight small dash. Now, I've just taken it very thick, but you need to take it thin. I put the anchor point using the pan behind tool exactly in the center. Now, I have to animate this. I have to make a shape out of this, a circle out of this, and then animate it. First of all, for the first step, you need to add a repeater. I have a repeater. By default, it's 3. I'll just set it to 10 copies. Then you need to make sure that you click on the transform repeater option and then you animate those copies. So now, first step, you need to set up the position to a 0. Then a rotation to a 36 degrees. Okay, so now we need to adjust. You can adjust the thickness. They are not so thick. Okay, we need to adjust the anchor point. Okay, the way you want it. Okay, and the length also. Okay. So now we have this. So I want to animate this pop-up burst using trim paths. So I'll be taking trim paths. I'll be adding trim paths. And now I'm going to use the trim paths. For that, I'm going to start with a 0. There's nothing on the stage. Then I put it back to 100. I think it's going to be the opposite. I'm sorry for that. You need to start with a 100. You need to start with a 100 and then end up with a 0. Start with a 100 and end up with a 0. And then end up with a 0. So the animation needs to, can't see anything right now. Just do one thing. Take a little, push this a little over here. So now you can select both all of these, and then keyframe assistant easy ease. Okay, to speed it up, just select one of them. Okay, that's it. So that's it. This is the way you create pop-up lines and apply on your projects. The second thing I would like to show you is, apart from this, once you create the pop-up lines, is to use trim paths to trace out something. First of all, I'm going to cut this, alt and right bracket. Now I'm going to trace a rectangle, then just the stroke. Yeah. To this, I'm going to add trim paths. Trim paths, I just animate the start and or the end. It's up to you. Now this is 0 and this is 100. So I start from a 0 and end with 100. 0 to 100. Make sure it's a 0. From 0 I start and end with 100. The same effect, if you, I'm going to take another shape on top of this. Using a different color. Suppose I have taken this shape, and what I want to do is, after this comes, I want to start with the blue circle. So what I will do is, again I'll apply trim paths, put the start and end. Yes, this is the length I want. And then here we can play around with the offset. Just to make sure, just 2 to 3 times. As you can see, depending on the speed, you can make different effects using trim paths and repeater. Thanks for watching.